What's up, Wizards? It's Dev. SBMTG. We like it a magic little particle effect action for you, but you might notice that this isn't the typical setup for a deck tech. Don't worry, the couch is still back there. I think a kitty's in the room somewhere. I think Waverly's in the closet asleep or something. Maybe she'll rise and come join us at some point. But either way, I'm actually kind of really pressed for time today. I had family come over earlier in the day. They didn't leave till really late. So I'm only just now being able to sit down, get to this deck tech. The patrons voted on Green-Black Henge. Really cool deck that I've been playing with for a couple of weeks now. I was starting to get tired of the mono-red matchup, and it just made me want to smash things. So that's why I put this deck together, and it's actually pretty decent in the mono-red matchup. We got some problems against decks like Teamer Adventures and the occasional control decks and whatnot, but depending on how fast our start is, we can sometimes even just smash past them if we're able to accelerate fast enough. Basically, what I wanted to do is just have all the biggest creatures in Standard in one deck, and a bunch of other creatures that grow. You know, we've got, for those purposes, things like Pelt Collector and Nessie and Hornbeetle. Both of these are able to get really big over the course of a game. And even though Hornbeetle's not the best card in the world, it does go really well with stuff like Regisaur on turn 3, perhaps Lovestruck Beast on turn 3. Sometimes on turn 3 you can go, after a Paradise Druid, you can go Questing Beast or Shifting Ceratops or Polukranos. Shifting Ceratops specifically very, very good against all the various decks playing islands, and there are a lot of them right now. So it's kind of a secret weapon against those decks, but it's also decent in the mono-red matchups for just gumming up the board, giving us a huge dude that's hard for them to attack through, and sometimes we can attack with, especially if we get a Shadow Spear. This is another sort of secret weapon, this time again against mono-red decks, because if we put a Shadow Spear on a Rotting Regisaur, a Lovestruck Beast, even a Thrashing Brontodon, but a Questing Beast, a Shifting Ceratops, any of these, getting a Shadow Spear can be just lights out for any aggro opponent. We've also got Polukranos in there, wears a Shadow Spear pretty well, but it's also our main source of removal in the deck. Mostly we're just trying to get the jump on other decks that are playing creatures, and even decks that aren't playing creatures, we just want to jump on the board and start attacking for ungodly amounts of damage as quick as possible. So we really don't have any removal. We're kind of counting on the fact that we have bigger creatures to stand in for our removal. But Polukranos can fight really important creatures on the other side of the table. Sometimes that matters. This is also a decent anti-control card. If they do pop a sweeper off and they're Shatter the Sky against us or something, then maybe later in the game we can get Polukranos back, and just one attack step in can sometimes be the death of them. So I like that. Even goes over things like Dream Trawler or something if they've been able to play one. I love that about it too. And then of course the Great Henge in here to tie it all together, because this is ostensibly a Great Henge deck. But I don't want to play any more than 2 copies of this. I don't usually want to see more than 1 copy in most games. But if we do get 1 copy, it can just lead to drawing cards and drawing cards and drawing cards, because we've mostly only got creatures in the deck aside from Shadow Spear in all of our lands. So just about any card that we draw might be a creature. That's why we're playing the Nylea the Keen-Eyed. I'm actually thinking about working another copy in here, maybe taking out the Nessie and Hornbeetle, playing a second copy of Nylea Keen-Eyed. But I like where our curve is right now. That said, Nylea is just amazing for getting card advantage in the late game. Can be especially good in those control matchups. And it's decent in the aggro matchup too, because it can block a creature and doesn't really care if the creature gets an Embercleave put on it after blocks. So I like that about it too. It's just kind of a lot going on in this deck, but for the most part, it's a really simple deck that just wants to get through as much damage as possible. 24 lands in the deck. We've got 18 green sources, 13 black sources altogether. We are rocking 1 Castle Locthwain. We're not going to be able to activate it in every game, but in some games, especially those that go long, it's really important to have this Castle Locthwain to get a little bit of card advantage if we don't get a Nylea. So keep that in mind. Aside from that, Castle Garenbrig sometimes comes in handy because we got a lot of big meaty dudes in the deck. And as far as the sideboard goes, we got Duress in there against Control, Noxious Grasp in there, mostly against Teferis and whatnot. Also Nissa's an important target for this, but there's a lot of important targets for Noxious Grasp right now. We can have removal after the board, and that's mostly because of Noxious Grasp, but also because of Plague Crafter. This can make them sacrifice a Dream Trawler, a card that is very good against us. So I want to play this, but there's all kinds of reasons you might want a little bit more removal after board, so Plague Crafter. Got a Return to Nature in there to go with the 2 other copies of Thrashing Brontodon, from when we have to kill Embercleave Cleaves at instant speed, Fires of Invention, all kinds of stuff that you might have to take out with these cards. And then a Shifting Ceratops to bring it up to 4 against the blue decks, and that's about it. But we will be playing in best of 1 today. The reason I like to do that, I get a lot of comments about this. The reason I like to do that is because it's the way that we can bang out as many games as possible against as many different decks as possible to give you an idea of all the different dimensions that the deck has and how versatile it can or cannot be in some cases. I like to play as many games against as many decks as possible, again, just to show you the various ways the deck can function in different situations. And if we did best of 3, which is a great format that I love, but if we did best of 3, videos would be 3 hours long. And you might love a 3-hour video, but it's just not digestible for the majority of the communities. So I try to go with best of 1 in these videos to, again, give you the best idea possible in as many different environments as possible of what a deck can do. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's go ahead and get into it. I wanted to kind of smash together the deck tech and the gameplay today, again, because I'm pressed for time and because the deck is relatively simple to begin with. Just smash all the biggest creatures in these 2 colors into a deck, try to make the curve correct, and then, get in there, hope you go first. It really matters with this deck, but even if you end up going second, you can easily overcome a bunch of aggro opponents with, Rotting Regisaur into Questing Beast. That's a line that a lot of players have trouble with regardless of what cards are in their deck. So let's go ahead and get into it, get a couple games in. All right, we're in for our first one here against the Ghost of You. That's a good username. And I really wish that we could guarantee this Rotting Regisaur on turn 3. We can, but we have to miss out on turn 1 Pelt Collector or Lovestruck Beast. And I don't love that. So what's the best thing to do here? I think it's probably just to Lovestruck Beast on turn 1. Get the token. And then hopefully we'll draw into another untapped source here. But if we don't, that's kind of fine because I can just Temple of Malady on turn 2. Getting a green, we do need that other green source. And then we'll Pelt Collector. And then I don't think there are any flash creatures in the format that cost a single white mana, so I'm getting in. Say and go. Alright, Ghost to Use. Drops a second Plains. Maybe this is just the mono-white life gain deck. Which would be an interesting test. I haven't played against this deck that much with this deck. Glass Casket on perhaps the token. Well, I choose Pelt Collector. Okay. So we'll just drop a forest here. And then go Lovestruck Beast. Play Lovestruck Beast here because I don't want to necessarily discard a card next turn. Not yet. It's usually best to wait. On some occasions, it's best to wait with Rotting Regisaur until you don't have anything else in your hand that you care about getting rid of. So I'd rather just play a 4-drop next turn, likely Questing Beast. Banishing Light. The Lovestruck Beast. Alright, so just some sort of mono-white enchantments or maybe a mono-white control in quotation marks deck. Let's see here. What we could do is go Pelt Collector, Rotting Regisaur, develop our board state as much as possible. That's one thing to do. But then we'd have to discard either a Questing Beast or a Shifting Ceratops next turn, which I don't necessarily love. So I'm going to go ahead and Questing Beast. Get in for 5. Put them at 13 and say go. Now if they shatter the sky, we get to draw a card and we still have a handful of gas. We're going to Johnny's Pridemate. Okay, it's that kind of party. I was not aware that it was actually that kind of party. Alright, so we get a land here this turn. Which means we can... Well, actually, the best thing to do is probably Shifting Ceratops. And give it haste. I think that's probably better for us than the Pelt Collector. Ardent Veil Tactician. Tapping both of them down. I like it. I like it. Didn't expect to come across an Ardent Veil Tactician. That's new. Wow. Okay. Another Johnny's Pridemate. Cool. We still have 3 mana open. So they're going to Tactician. Got a pretty decent little board state here. But we got a Polukranos. So now it's tough to say. I might just get rid of this Pelt Collector with the Rotting Regisaur eventually. Kind of want a Polukranos this turn. But we'll wait until after combat. Let's get in with a couple of Dudos. Alright, we don't have to give this anything. That's good. Alright, pop, pop. At this point, I will overextend just slightly. We're kind of forcing the sweeper on them now, but I don't know that they're actually carrying a sweeper given how many creatures they're playing in their deck. So it looks like we might just have them on board here. Even if they do get something really nice, Sentinel's Eyes ain't going to do it. Sentinel's Eyes ain't going to do it. We'll get through. So that might mean they have something in their hand they can do here. I'm just going to tell them, nice. Because I don't know how hard this decision could possibly be. Maybe it's Unbreakable Formation that they forgot to cast. Maybe. Could be. Hard to say, honestly. Karametra's Blessing, perhaps? That's a possibility, but I doubt it. I think at this point they're just roping to rope. Well, here we go. They finally hit us. You gonna do anything? No, they don't do anything with that other 3 mana. They're just gonna good game us. I will also say good game. And trust that they mean it. I trust that they mean it. What if we fought something here? We fight this. Hold on. Thinking. Let's say we fight into Johnny's Primate. We'll have 2 mana open, 3 cast the Rotting Regisaur. I like all that. I think all that's fine. Rotting Regisaur. Just want to grow this Pel Collector. Fight the Primate. Wonder if they have a way to gain life at instant speed. Unbreakable. Unbreakable. Alright, you see, that's why I didn't necessarily trust that good game a second ago, right? So, okay, they can block with 3 guys. So they block here, here, and here. They take 4 damage, they lose the game. So cool. Didn't necessarily have to do any of the fighting stuff. I was just trying to... And by the way, it was an Unbreakable Formation. It was an Unbreakable Formation. We called that. Alright. Blocks the Questing Beast. Blocks the Shifting Ceratops. Blocks Polukranos. And bam, bam, bam. That should be the game. Alright, cool. Well, that was our first one there. I think the Rotting Regisaur growing the Pel Collector is actually what won the game that turn for us. But either way, we probably could have just attacked and won regardless. Alright, we're up against Queel here, I guess is how you pronounce their name. And this doesn't look terrible. I think we'll go with it here. I don't mind this so much. We can go turn 1, Lovestruck Beast. They lead on a Simic Guildgate. Interesting. So we will. Heart's Desire on turn 1, I guess I should say, not turn 1 Lovestruck Beast. We don't open with a Black Lotus. That would be a bad way to spend a Black Lotus if you had one in your opener, probably. Let's see, we draw a Great Henge, so let's just swamp Paradise Druid, drop P. Diddy down, and then maybe next turn, let's see. I don't trust the Spectral Sailor here, which I don't think they have, but I'm still not going to attack with this 1/1. Growth Spiral. I've been seeing this. A Teamer Gates deck. I've been seeing this around recently. And it's not half bad either. But this turn, we can Questing Beast. Let's go ahead and do that on turn 3. Tapped out, so we'll get in for 5. So get First Blood here, but a Gates Ablaze will still stop us. But even if they do Gates Ablaze, maybe we can Shifting Ceratops next turn. Yeah, they do Gates Ablaze. I'd love to draw a land now. We do. Cool. So let's shift some Ceratopses. And then maybe next turn we can slip this Shadow Spear on it. Might be cool. I want to get this Henge down too. Guild Summit. Okay. So we will get a turn with the Shifting Ceratops. As they tap out to draw a card. They play a gate. Or no, it's a Sacred Foundry. Okay. Alright, so what are we looking at here? If we Great Henge, we can't do anything else. If we Rotting Regisaur, we can Shadow Spear. Then again, if we Great Henge, we can Shadow Spear too, so. Questing Beast on top. Yeah, I'll keep Questing Beast on top. We'll do that. And we'll Great Henge. Play the Shadow Spear, gain a couple life. And I guess, because I got nothing else to do with this other mana, let's give it Trample. And get in. Alright, opponent at 10 now. But they're getting to the point where they can do some pretty ludicrous stuff with their Gates deck. Like, Gatebreaker Ram is really good right now. Like, really, really good. So we'll see how things shake out from here. If anything, we can Regisaur plus Lovestruck Beast next turn. That'll draw us a couple cards. That all seems decent. We get an untapped land in the mix, we can equip the Shadow Sphere, which that might be the line we want to take regardless. Guild Summit. You can tap one gate. You've only got one to tap. That kind of sucks, by the way. Didn't tap their Sacred Foundry to cast their Guild Summit. Probably should have. So they draw 2 off of that. Oh yeah, we can Questing Beast. Let's just Questing Beast and equip the Shadow Spear. And they're going to scoop it up because that's game. that's game. We don't even have to equip Shadow Spear. It's just game. Deck is fairly quick sometimes. Turns out big dudes are a perfectly acceptable way to play Magic. It's looking like. All right, we go first here up against the Stricken Magus, and we're coming off against a couple of good games here. We're actually just able to play through a sweeper against Gates. That felt pretty nice. So, and honestly, here we have a nice start as well. I like Pelt Collector on one. Well, I was really thinking about Lovestruck Beast on one there. I guess I shouldn't keep calling it that. It's called Heart's Desire. All right. Let's see. All Seed of Life's Bounty on turn 1 for the opponent. That's not great. It's not a play that I love seeing, personally. Now we'll Lovestruck Beast. And I'll no attacks. Say go here. So Stricken Magus has. I wonder if it's mono white or green white. It's green white. A deck that we're not great against. Not usually. If they get one creature really, really big, especially one with lifelink, that's going to be a problem. So, Warbriar Blessing, probably going to fight Pelt Collector here. Yep. And get in for the 1. Can respect that. So on this turn, I'm going to give him too much time, honestly. And Horn Beetle. Then I'll no attacks, and I'm going to go let Ziggy in, because he's going crazy if you can't tell. The boy likes to be in here. Come on, buddy. Come on, Ziggs. Hey, you. Hey, mister. Come on. Come sit down with your papa. Alright. Now, where'd you go, buddy? I don't want to run you over with the chair. Here you are. Here you are, bub. Yeah. Ram. See what our opponent does here. I wonder if they're stuck on lands. Glaring Igus. Don't see that every day. I think the only time I've ever seen Glaring Igus in one of these builds was in CGB's build. Covert Go Blue. Another YouTuber here on the site. A good one, too. But I think he played like a 2-of Glaring Igus or something. Seeing that here. Not sure how much I like it. It looks like he might be, or they might be stuck on lands. Yeah. It's not looking great for our opponent here. So let's Fabled Passage. Got all the black sources that we need. 1. That's pretty much all we need right now. You're going to let us do it? You're going to let us do that? Yep. Okay. Well, the other argument there is that we actually have all the green sources we need too. So let's get the second black source just in case we pick up a Castle Locthwain. Now, let's Questing Beast. Now our opponent will rope. because they just don't, they can't, they just want to stamp their feet and not let what's happening happen. Of course, we're going to be saying that soon. We're going to be saying that ourselves pretty soon. Where you going, buddy? Where you going? Come here. Come here, big bub. You're gonna get cradled. Alright. I'm actually still not loving our chances in this game. We are ahead right now. If they get a land, we're gonna be in trouble. We could be. Although if they get a land, maybe they'll just Setessan champion, you know. What I'm really worried about here is like all that glitters. That would be terrible. Like really, really terrible. But I guess unless they can give it flying, we can just block with Questing Beast, Death Touch it, and that'll be that. They decide not to attack. So what do you want to do this turn, Ziggs? What do you want to do, bub? I guess we just Lovestruck Beast. We just cast and then play Lovestruck Beast. We could certainly do that. But first, foist. Let's just get in with this Questing Beast. Let's just do that. Maybe they'll Blessing. Maybe they'll Karametra's Blessing on blocks. That'd be a pretty cool play. Come on, buddy, you're stuck. You're stuck in my shirt. Yep. That's how I get so many holes in my shirt. They don't block. Let's just cast Heart's Desire. And then we'll Lovestruck Beast. Alright. What is going to be the deal here? They're going to nice. Just give us a nice. Did they still not get a land? Man, when Arena doesn't want you to have lands, it just won't let you have them. They're going to good game us. Alright, opponent goes first here. Black, but that's alright. We can like turn 3 Polukranos or Ceratops, so I think you might be in trouble. 2 socks. 2 socks 42. Over there. It's Pelp Collector on turn 1. Good way to start things. I like it. Let's let them Fabled Passage, I imagine they will. Yeah, what you got? What you gonna get, Socks? Mr. Socks. A Plains. Just a regular old Plains. Oh, and there's an island. Okay. Oh, buddy. That's how you start a game right there. Here's a Paradise Druid for you. Take that. Get swung in 2 for 2, Hoss. Alright, go. Alright, so now, since they played an island, we must play Shifting Ceratops. That's how that goes. And then maybe they just won't be able to do anything about it at all. That happens in some games. Alright, Overgrown Tomb, untapped. Shifting Ceratops. Grow that Collector and get in. Cool. Well, I think we got it sewed up. Not necessarily. Here comes a Narset. They can still, like, shatter the sky. That'll be a problem for us. Pelp Collector. There, 15. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We can put him at 4 this turn. We just put him at 5, and that's basically the same, right? Or is it? I pay 2 life and Henge. But I won't play Pelp Collector yet. No, let's go ahead and kill the Narset because we have Great Henge. Let's do it. So they're at 8. Let's not play this yet and walk into a sweeper. Because we know for a fact they have the... Ooh, they didn't do it, though. That's interesting. Alright, we need to get another Shifting Ceratops this turn, it looks like. Just tap this for 2 life. Hey, we got one! Nice. That's the best thing that could have happened. Cool. Well, Let's give this dude haste, and hey, it's over against blue-white. Against the best deck in the format. It's over. Well, that was a pretty good round of games there against a pretty decent, different number of decks. We actually got in there against blue-white at the end and did some real damage. It was going to be a problem. I'm a little surprised that our opponent didn't go ahead and shatter the sky. You'd think they would have shattered the sky and then next turn to fairy, right? But that's the line that they chose. And if we hadn't have drawn the shifting Ceratops, it probably would have been a problem, but we would have still put our opponent at like 1 that turn. Had a great Henge, had 2 Pelt Collectors, and a Polukranos in our hands, so we probably still could have won that game pretty easily, especially considering all the card advantage we were about to get off of great Henge. So, I mean, either way, even if they'd have cast the Shatter, it probably still would have been a pretty decent game for us. So, I like that last game. Picked up one against Skates, picked up one against a sort of aggro deck too. So, all in all, again, I think a pretty good variance of different decks today to show off what this deck can actually do. But obviously, the deck's just playing big guys, right? There's not too much cerebral play involved in the deck. We're just dropping huge dudes, being as Timmy as we possibly can. And honestly, if you can't tell, that works against a pretty wide variety of garbage nowadays. Because these are just good cards. It turns out that the worst card in the deck is Nessie and Hornbeetle, but pretty much everything else is amazing. A Rotting Regisaur, Lovestruck Beast, Thrashing Bronzodon, Nylea, which we did not see today, Questing Beast, Shifting Ceratops, Polukranos, Great Henge. Just every single card in the deck is amazing, but it's still only I think 250 on TCG Player, which is pretty low for what you're actually getting. All things considered, I think it's around 250 on TCG Player, but either way, if you're interested in it, makes a really good F&M deck and just makes a good, fun deck to smash into your buds with. So if you're interested in it, I'll leave a link in the description to the deck on TCG Player. You can kind of, shift things around at your will if you want to, and as usual, give me your suggestions down there in the comments section, how this could be different, what we could play in different slots, what we play instead of Nessie and Hornbeetle, which I think is a good card, but maybe Growth Chamber Guardian or Crawl Harpooner, Barkhide Troll, or any number of other creatures, but I like the idea of Hornbeetle here because over long games, it could just get huge. We didn't get to see that happen in these games, but we did see it get to grow just a little bit. So, yeah. But aside from that, I mean, like I said at the beginning, there's really not much to say about this deck. Just throw a bunch of huge creatures together and smash in with them and try to just stomp your opponent's face. This is basically a mono green stompy deck that plays a black splash for Rotting Regisaur in the main. But in the sideboard, we get access to Duress, Noxious Grass, Playcrafter, a lot of good black cards. Ziggy, you want to say bye to the people? No, you want to rub on the camera to prove that it's yours. It's yours, buddy. Look at your dandruff. Look at your butt dandruff, buddy. Man, you got to clean that up. Dude, you're molting like crazy. Why is your butt so dry? Why is your butt so dry, dude? You weirdo. Anyway, let me pick you up. This is where you want to be anyway. But anyway, this is a yay coming right in for the kitty kisses. Coming, because I know what you like, buddy. I know where you want to be. Anyway, again, sorry we didn't do the traditional deck tech with all the jokes and the production value and blah blah, even though I'm not really sure how much production value goes into it. You still got particle effects though. Magic. So, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled program. Although, if you did like this sort of style of video, let me know in the comments section. Where are you going, buddy? You be your own person. You go wherever you want. You're not tied to me, but we do love each other. But anyway, do all the stuff. Like the video, support the content on Patreon. Leave a link in the description, or just go to patreon.com/SBMTG. $1 a month is all I ask. It's the most important income stream I have to make sure that I can keep doing this, living the dream and all that. So all the patrons I already have, I really appreciate you. Seriously, you're what's keeping this ship afloat right now. And if you want to help out, then just click the link in the description. $1 a month is all I ask. And you'll vote. You can vote on what decks we do around here. That's why we did this deck in the first place, is the patrons voted on it. So yeah, do that if you got the skrill. If not, just like the video, sub if you're new, or if you haven't done it yet, hit the bell for notifications, all the YouTube stuff, except actually do it. Right? I know everyone always tells you to do it and you don't do it. You're just yeah, whatever, it's fine. Just do one of the things. Just this once, do one of the things. Like, sub, whatever you do. But yeah, in any case, I'm pretty sure that I'm done for this one. Just let me know how you felt about it down there in the comments section. Pick up the deck at TCG Player, swing some games in, see if you don't have the most fun in the world with just the biggest dudes in Standard right now. But anyway, I guess I'm done, y'all. I'm Dev from SBMTG. Thanks for watching, my wizards. Spread love and be kind.
Yeah, I'm feeling rich, and I'm finally about to cash out. Smothered and covered like I'm some hash browns. Glass clown, stash crowns till I pass out. Bass, trout, lobster on my plate, milking the cash cow. Stacks tall as shack, protect your neck and watch your back. I'm counting checks and cracking packs, collecting decks and pumping gas.